Hi.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Uh, I'm good. So, good evening, everybody. I'm Shweta, President of Rotaract Club Visakha Port City. And here we have Mona Lisa Dayanand today. She is a health coach, a nutrition expert, and she has this Alpha Women Fitness Center, which is especially for women. So, she herself has gone through a huge transformation in her life, which is really amazing. And Mona Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please go ahead with telling about the basic nutrition or the vegan diet?
Okay, cool. Definitely, I'll just go ahead. So before I just begin starting to speak about nutrition or regarding health or anything, I just want you to introduce I just want you guys to know more about me, a little bit more about my transformation and how I started all of these things. So basically, I'll just take you back to probably around 2013, where I was born and brought up in Vishakhapatnam. That's my native. And then for my graduation, I had to move to Bangalore. So obviously, in these kind of education institutions, something like Chaitanya and Narayana, where you are expected to sit and study from morning 7 o'clock to evening 8:39, and obviously you are put into a particular pressure that you need to get these many marks, and you need to crack IIT, and they basically don't care about your health, not even mental health, not even physical health. So that's what
So,
happened to me, where I stress ate a lot. And in this 2 years, I'm like, I didn't even check my weight. So when I moved to Bangalore for my engineering, then when I checked my weight, I just saw that I was in a border to 100, border to reaching 100, which was around 98. And then I have understood that's a lot, because like for my height around 5'5" to 5'6", 98 kilos is something which is a lot. Like I was
yeah.
considered obese, and because of that I had issues with PCOS and anxiety, a lot of things, vertigo as well. So because of this, the main reasons, along with the physical stress what I faced, it's both mental as well, because I couldn't get proper clothes of my size. Like not even double XL or triple XL used to fit me. Nor there particular things wherein, if you go to a ride in an amusement park, you have a certain weight restriction where they don't allow you
Yeah.
beyond, or things like you don't feel like clicking pictures because you are equal to 2 to 3 friends of your same classmates. So just imagine how that would feel. And I've gone through that phase of being extremely obese and being that odd one out, where people just used to address me in the name of auntie, rather than just taking my name as Mona Lisa. I was just known for that. So that's something which has is willing to lose weight, the first thing what they'll do is eating less and doing more cardio. That's the only thing as a beginner would do. And the same, like Google is something which doesn't actually give you a correct information. And during that time, this online coaches are not so easily available like how it was right now. So I started like trying different kinds of diets. I used to consume around 500 to 1000 calories, which is very less, and I used to do tons of cardio. So because of this, I've aggressively lost weight, and along with weight I lost a lot of my muscle strength, my my relationship with food, because I have restricted myself with rice, banana, or normal chocolates, or things which we usually love. So basically, I have gone very aggressive with diet, and along with that, even when it comes to workouts, I've been to very aggressive phase for workouts as well, where I used to work out 3 to 4 kinds of varieties per day, combining at least 1 to 2 hours of cardio. Like strictly on treadmill, I used to stay for 1 to 2 hours, and then along with that, like Zumba, or resistance training, or different kind of things. So in this procedure I have lost a lot of weight, but like it was something which I lost by doing some things which is very aggressive, and I've reached a point to 48 kilos where I was underweight. So I came to that border. So I've lost around 50 kgs. So this is what has happened. And then I understood that even after losing a lot of weight, I wasn't happy where I was, because I didn't like what I was eating. I wasn't including my favorite
Mm.
meals. And when it comes to exercise, I was not prioritizing my strength. The only thing was like I was trying to mash up my body to somebody else over the social media or celebrities or models, which most of the people do. So that's the thing. And when it comes to sleep or mental health, like those were the last things which I prioritized when it comes to my health. I didn't take care of my sleep nor even my stress management. So this used to be the relationship with my body, and I got to know that this is something which is not sustainable. You cannot take ahead in a long run if you go something aggressive and keep comparing your journey with somebody else. So that's when I realized that stress, nutrition, exercise, and sleep are very important. And from then I literally stopped bothering a lot when it comes to numbers and started taking care of these kind of things. So that's how the whole journey began. Yeah. Yeah. So do you
Wow.
have an idea of fitness? Like, did you work out? Or I just want to know your take,
Yeah.
your story.
For me,
Yeah.
I used to go to the gym along with my father 3 years ago, and I stopped for a while. I never had weight issues personally. Like I was happy with what I am when it comes to weight. So I never really knew what it meant like to be obese or to be underweight.
Okay.
So when I see this sort of transformation happening within people, I've seen some of my friends personally. They were very lean or anorexic to be precise, and then they have gained a very healthy mind and body balance within an year. And there were people who were obese who are healthy now. So can you tell me, there has to be a level of consistency when you're transforming, let it be from being anorexic to healthy or obese to healthy. So what keeps you motivated? Because I want to know it from you.
Okay, okay, cool. So I've been speaking about this topic for a very long time on my page, and it's very common. See, the only question what I keep getting from a lot of people is how can I stay motivated every single day to get in my work done? And the fact is, like, even anybody who has transformed well, if you just go to them and ask, what is your motivation and how can you be motivated every day and how can I do that? They'll tell you that they were not actually motivated every single day. Nobody can be. It is just the planning and how they break up their goals into smaller parts and how they keep repeating that process over and over again. And even on the days when they couldn't stick to the plan, they come back the next day without waiting for the starting of the month or starting of the week. That is basically mindset of people where they, if they have a particular goal, they try to reach that particular goal in a very aggressive way. And because it's very aggressive, they cannot stick to the plan for a longer period. And if they go here and there, they wait until next Monday or next year or next month to come to start back again. So it's like a process which is like never ending. So you need to understand you shouldn't take anything aggressive. And when it comes to motivation, don't rely on motivation, because if you go to a movie or check somebody's Instagram who are like very physically fit, you will feel super motivated for one day, 2 day, and from the third day the motivation just goes somewhere. That's not practical, because it just keeps going here and there. So all what you have to think of is make a plan which you can stick to for a longer run, and ask yourself what your goal is and why you have to do. If you want to lose weight or work out or take care of nutrition, you need to know why, not because somebody else has done that or saw good results. So the strong,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, the strong why. It's not for your, because you're getting married or because it's somebody's party which you have to attend, or not because fitting into that particular clothes. That is not your goal should be. You need to basically know why you have to be healthy. It's just for your day-to-day activities, for you to take care of your health, for you to perform better, walk better, just feel good in your own skin, and not for a particular date or a particular person or a particular thing. So that's what I always suggest when it comes to motivation. You need to plan, even if you want to lose 10 kilos, or for you, because you're not aiming for fat loss or weight loss, probably your goal can be strength gain. If you want to get body weight push-ups, you need to keep a goal that at least for 1 month you will get at least 10 knee push-ups, and next you can just go for 20 knee push-ups. So whatever goal you have, break it into smaller parts, try reaching that goal, and here and there, even if you don't, if you are not able to stick to that goal because life comes in between because of a lot of circumstances, get back on track.
Exactly.
Just don't. That's the only thing what you can do.
I also feel that you have to share about your transformation of healthy weight to the people who are doing the same, or at least share the transformation to the people so that they can keep you motivated. So
Yes.
the more you talk about how healthy you want to be, how you want to transform, I'm not talking about when you've started, but through the journey. Because sometimes you might lose the confidence, or I'm not sorry, confidence is the wrong word, the motivation to go further or to reach the goal or to at least end the plan. But if you keep sharing these things to the people who are similar, I mean, what I mean to say is having the like minded people around you, the supportive people around you will certainly help. So I want to ask you something. Why do you especially train women?
Yes. Okay, you're asking why, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as I was telling, I have fought obesity and I came from 98 kilos. So I have kept myself in a place where client would be, and person who is very obese, being a woman, they cannot speak about their irregular period cycles, their clots, their cellulite or sagging or stretch marks. These kind of things are something which they
Sorry? Yeah, I can hear you now. It's, yeah, it is fine now.
Okay, okay, cool. So I'll just go ahead. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Okay, okay. So as I was telling, because I have come from 98 kgs, I could relate to people who are very obese or women, their particular kind of things about their periods or about their body, their stretch marks or cellulite, or even their breast sagging or whatever it is. They cannot open up to a male client how much ever certified a male
So,
coach is, male coach. Yeah. So that's the whole point. So a woman can open up about these kind of things only to a woman, and that too when you're dealing
exactly.
issues with PCOS or when you're dealing issues with body shaming, and when you are in the first place hating your body or not understanding how it's working, you cannot easily express these kind of things to a male coach. And being relatable or relating their journey with yours is something very important when it comes to coaching. A client trusts a coach only when they can relate their life to a coach and see that a coach can bring a sustainable result to their life and not just give a particular diet plan or a workout plan. You can get that
Exactly.
anywhere over the internet. You like the service from the coach is not needed for that. So that's the whole point of niching down only to women, because they can relate better to me. I can relate better to their problems and what they are facing right now.
Yeah,
I have already faced it, practically in my life. So even before they, come with a problem, I can just give them the solution based on what particular problems. Yeah. How's it now?
I can hear you.
Is the connection fine?
Yeah, it is fine. You can go ahead.
Okay, okay, yeah. So the whole point is about relatability. It's not that I cannot train men, and it's not that men don't come with me asking, for coaching. I just want to help only women who are dealing with this issue so that they can open up freely, and even I can, vibe with them and give the exact solution, because I have practically, face the same kind of problems in my life, and I can tell them the solutions which they can follow for a longer run. That's the whole point of training only women.
Yeah. So how does a person's mental health improve when they follow a conscious health routine or a workout routine?
Okay, so basically, taking care of your health is something which is very related to your self confidence. As soon as you see when you are taking care of your body, irrespective of nutrition or exercise, it's basically you are taking care of your body, you feel good. So that's the whole point,
Mm.
which is going to push you to your next day, giving you a feedback that what you're doing is something which is giving you a good feeling, and probably you have to do that next day. And that's the whole point, how your mental health becomes very well when you take care of your body. That's the whole point of it. And when it comes to mental health, a lot of people don't even prioritize. Like, I know a lot of people, my friends, a lot of my clients who take care of their body so much, who take care of their exercises, about their nutrition as well. But when it comes to their mental health, that is something which they put behind. That should be your first priority, because if you are not emotionally stable, you cannot go anywhere, and even the results which you get are not something worthy. You cannot be happy with that. So that's the whole point. You need to take care of where you are exactly in your life right now. And if you have a particular goal, just do your journaling. You can just understand where you are, where you were in your past, and where you have to go. The better you get that clarity, the better you feel. So, like, I always suggest mental health is the first priority, even before nutrition or exercise.
Yeah, exactly. That is the case I'm seeing with most of the 20-year-olds nowadays across the country. As it's the nutrition week, our club has come up with different posters about different types of diets. There is keto diet, there is vegan diet, there is Mediterranean diet, and I just want you to throw some more light on why is it so specific that people. I want to talk about people who have diabetes.
Okay, cool.
I've seen some of the members in my family who have diabetes, and they have strict norms when it comes to eating food, cutting down sugar. So I just want you to throw more light on that.
Okay. So when it comes to these different diets, if you go over the internet, when it comes to workouts as well, there are like crazy number of diets or workouts available. But you need to understand, even before you start anything, how long can you follow that. So that's something where you have to check even before starting anything, because any particular plan will give you result because your lifestyle was something else before, and when you start something else, you will see the change. But that is something which is not enough to push it further. You need to ask yourself how long you can carry that for a longer period. So that is something which you have to ask, even when it comes to keto or going vegan or whatever it is. So how long can you follow that? If you know that you can push it for a lifetime, and if your physical health, your mental health, your sleep cycle, and if you're not having a particular craving, or if your energy levels are fine, then you're good to go. You can follow. So nutrition or fitness is very person dependent. If you are enjoying keto, and if you are fine by restricting your carbs for a longer period of time, then you can go ahead. And I don't think so any person is comfortable doing that. So how long can you actually stop consuming rice or stop consuming carbs? So going behind goal or going behind a particular result, you sacrifice your cravings. And because you sacrifice your cravings, there is a thing called cheat meal or cheat days which come, where you restrict yourself to eat your favorite food only on that particular days, and rest other days you don't know why you're eating. It's like a robotic thing, where you literally don't even enjoy what you're eating. So rather than that, you can just keep everything in balance, rather than not eliminating anything, rather than not pushing and doing different kinds of diets. Literally eat everything what comes in a limited proportion. So balance is something which will help you in a longer run, no matter when it comes to your life, your exercise, or even when it comes to nutrition. So that's the whole point of any form of diet. So when it comes to diabetes as well, you shouldn't overeat carbs. So carbs are basically simple sugars. You shouldn't overeat carbs, or you shouldn't undereat carbs. When you consume in a required amount, combine it with your protein intake, your fiber intake, and be physically active. That is something which people lack. If you be physically active and take care of not overeating or undereating your carbs or your sugars, then it's completely fine. So that's something which I always tell even to my clients. If you are, chocolate is something which you enjoy, or biryani, or different kinds of food. So what is your favorite food basically? What do you like eating?
Uh, I like eating biryani. I like eating the regular dosa
Yeah. So
and
basically,
fast food.
if you enjoy eating something like this, when you start a particular diet plan, start including these in a smaller amount rather than eating a lot and starving yourself the next day, or doing this something like detox, which is not practically possible. Our liver is already doing something like that, and these kind of things, which is called detox, it'll just help you poop better, and that's just your water weight which is flushing. You cannot basically change your body fat percentage with that. So if you want to start any particular diet, just try to keep it as balanced as possible. Include your favorite meals. Monday you need to be able to eat biryani, and even on Sunday you need to be able to eat salad. So don't see your Monday to Friday and Saturday Sunday like two separate things. Try to combine them and have it in balance. And same when it comes to diabetic as well. Don't overeat rice and or blame it on anything. When it comes to even thyroid or whatever it is, don't overeat or undereat anything. Just make sure you consume balanced meals. Take care of your protein and your fiber, because when you fill your plate with protein and fiber, you don't actually overeat your carbs. And be physically active. I just cannot stress how much, being physically active and staying on your toes is something which is important. When I speak about being physically active, doesn't mean that you have to invest on equipment and you have to do all crazy things. Just getting up more, moving frequently rather than sitting in one particular place is much more than enough to take care of your health in beginning stages.
At this point, I feel like everyone needs to have an access to a health coach, because uh, when it comes to normal people with healthy weight as well, they might not be physically active. So it is better to talk about how balanced your diet is, how you're maintaining a healthy diet plan. For me personally, the entire concept of nutrition is very complicated. So hearing all these things from you might be new to me. So that was why I started with a very small intro of you, and I started asking you random questions. For example, I have a younger brother. He does a lot of workout. He does calisthenics. He gives me different names, and all of that is new to me. And he motivates me, and he asks me to go to workout as well, as it improves my mental health and all of that. So having a health coach and can I personally feel it can transform your mental health and your physical well-being as well.
So that's
So especially when it comes to youngsters, I mean, we have a lot of stress thrown by the society, from the family, in the peer group. So when you talk a lot of your health and well-being, I think that is when a person can improve from within. What do you have to say about that?
I've kept a story today speaking about what a good coach is. So
I've seen that.
it's not only just one workout plan or diet plan. Like anybody can do that. Coach is somebody who has already gone through the things what you are going through right now, and you
Yeah,
have up for somebody who is expertise in that field, and who tells you where you are going wrong and how you have to go further, rather than telling that you have to lose this much weight by this much time and you have to go aggressive. That's not the whole point of being a coach. You have somebody like a backup who is already like very well educated in this field when it comes to
yeah,
their life. So that's the whole point of being a coach and having a backup. And even whenever you have any queries and when you feel demotivated, or whenever you feel stuck or you're not able to move further, you have somebody who has already gone through that and who will tell you how you have to proceed further, rather than making this all of look complicated. Even when it comes to nutrition and exercise, none of them are complicated. It's just the way people put it out. And I always blame media. The way they show to people is something which is like very different. See, endorsing celebrities is fine, but how much they are qualified to speak about this is something which everybody has to question. When you don't
yeah,
have science base or a research base regarding to nutrition and exercise, just giving off advertises is something which is very different, because celebrities are the people who are powerful and have the direct impact to your audience. So just because
exactly.
some celebrities doing particular kind of diet, you start doing it. So that's the whole point of it. you need to have a science backup or a research backup or backup of whatever you are doing, and that's the whole point of when it comes to coach. So media keeps showing different kinds of exercises because they want to push their marketing, they want to push their products.
Exactly.
But as a customer, you need to just look as a spectator, just see it and don't absorb whatever you are seeing it. You have to see if it goes well with your body or not. So that's the whole point of it. Even when it comes to nutrition, as you were asking what balanced meals are, so it's basically, just imagine you are going to a buffet, let it be marriage, and you
Mm-hmm.
are asked to just pick up your favorite meals or pick up whatever you want to eat for that day. Rather than filling your plate with only rice and sweets, just try to add a little bit of protein. When it comes to protein, you can either go for soya or paneer or tofu or meat or eggs, whatever it is. And along with that, a bowl of salad, let it be fruit salad or vegetable salad, and little bit of
Yeah.
dairy. It can be curd or buttermilk or whatever form of dairy you enjoy, and along with that a little bit of carbs. So when you basically add all of these things, you will not be heaping your plate with only rice. The same thing, you can take it for your breakfast, you can take it for your dinner and your evening snack as well. Try to proportion your fiber, which is your basically vegetables, and your protein intake and little bit of carbs, rather than eating only carbs, or rather than eliminating carbs completely. Carbs are not your enemy, only your overeating and under exercising is something which is affecting your health. So that's the whole
Exactly.
point of it. Eliminating sugar, you eliminating salt, eliminating oil, you're demonizing these things. Are they're not the culprits. Your tea or the chocolates are not culprits. Just overeating is something which is the whole point, which is affecting your health. So that's the whole point of balanced meals as well, as you've asked.
That's a very good answer. So there is a club in our district which is doing a project on PCOS. So
Okay.
can you say something about that workout when it comes to people who have PCOS?
Okay. So PCOS is basically, it's an consequence of unhealthy lifestyle, which started affecting women, and this can be taken care as soon as they drop weight, and this can be sustainable only when they take care of their nutrition and their physical activity. Because as soon
Yeah.
as you gynec, even when gynec gives you contraceptive pills, he or she tells you the same thing, that you have to lose weight or you have to take care of your nutrition and your physical activity, so that you don't have the basically PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome, where either both of your ovaries or one of your ovary will be enlarged, or you will have multiple cysts in your ovary. So
Mm.
this is like a consequence of your erratic eating habits, as well as inactive lifestyle. So even when you go to a doctor, gynec doctor, he or she will give you meds and ask you to take care of your lifestyle. So you need to know, even when you take care of that tablets, you cannot consume that tablets for a longer period of time, which is not something possible. And taking care of your health is not something which you have to postpone it or see it something like which is not which is not happening. If you just see, before few generations, none of our parents had this issue because they were
Exactly.
on their feet, they were physically active. Now, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
technology and a lot of things which has made us sit in one particular place, that is something which has
Exactly.
immediate effect on our physical activity. When it comes to nutrition, I always blame for this apps like Swiggy or Zomato. I'm not telling they're bad, but completely depending on the Swiggy or Zomato or outside foods, rather than cooking your own meals, is the first step to, you will at least understand in which state you are when you uninstall these apps. Stop eating outside and cook your own meals. That's one
Yes.
major change you can cause to your nutrition. Start cooking your own food, so that you'll understand your portions, so that you'll understand your food choices, and for different moods you feel like eating different foods. So basically you will feel very well, and you can build a good relationship with your food when you cook your own meals, and here and there you can just eat outside. But don't completely depend on these on these apps. Or when it comes to physical exercise, don't completely stop because of the technology. Don't sit in one particular place and keep working or keep doing whatever it is, keep scrolling. So that's the whole point, how this affected PCOS. There's no separate exercises for PCOS, nor there's no separate diet. women who are, they deal with PCOS are slightly insulin sensitive rather than women who don't have PCOS. So they can make sure that their carbs are not shooting up high and take care of their protein intake as well to reduce their carbs a bit more. But as long as you are physically active and you combine your meals and have it in a balanced way and know how much you're eating and know how much you are supposed to eat, you're good to go. No matter it's
Yeah.
thyroid, no matter it's diabetic or PCOS or whatever it is, as long as these two are in balance, you take care of your meals and your physical activity 7 days a week, you need not worry about anything. So there is this when you basically go to a doctor and doctor tells that you have thyroid, that you will basically stop exercising, you will start eating more, and you will give up just because doctor told that you have thyroid. It's you don't blame yourself because you are being inactive and you are eating more, and that's the whole point of you are pushing the thyroid to even more extra level. So rather than keep complaining about what doctor has told you, start working on yourself rather than going for medications or the supplements or drinks or tablets.
Exactly.
Go
Or
for the basic.
antidepressants or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get, even when I get a lot of clients they have calcium deficiency or vitamin deficiency. They don't put that effort to get it from their meals. They just start taking tablets or different kinds of drinks. Rather than that, you can just work on your nutrition. That's much more than enough to get your body in a much better way. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of
Yeah,
it.
that's a very good answer for the question I've asked. I just want to share an example. There is a friend of mine who has been a victim of certain emotional abuse. So what has happened was, no, she has told me an interesting point. The food you eat equates the amount of energy you get. I mean to say, no, it also depends on who cooks the food. Are you eating it with, no, are you liking the food that you're eating, or are you in a proper surrounding or not? And I've seen a transformation in her lately. What has happened was, she has taken help of a health coach, and she was stuck to the plan. She had a plan where no, you were mentioning it before, like she has to include whatever she likes to eat once or twice a week, and also follow other things such as salads, proteins, and vitamins in the diet. And I
Okay.
have seen a change in that girl when it comes to the aspect of mental health. She has transformed to another level. So I'd like to add a point to the session. No, you also need to know the surrounding in which you're eating food. When you are eating food, you should eat what you like, not when something that you're forced upon to eat, or something you're not willing to eat, or something you know which you're not comfortable doing. It has to come within you, and you have to make sure that it leads you somewhere better. And yeah, the story of this girl is wonderful. So I myself personally wanted to have a health coach for many years, honestly. And I'm thinking of having one, or like seeking any of the health coaches' help after listening to all that you've spoken today. And it's been wonderful. So I just want you to throw more light on, people procrastinate things a lot. As a health coach, you see this happening.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell me what is the key to stop
Yeah.
procrastination?
So do you want to speak about this?
Sorry?
Yeah. Do you want me to
I
speak
can't.
about this? That's what
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to meals, I would want to start with the meals first and then go to the procrastination. So when it comes to me coaching my clients, I don't give them a diet plan. I don't give them a diet plan when they come to me. I just tell them how many calories they have to consume, how many grams of protein, fat, fiber, and carbs they have to consume. So, and I give them a health guide where are the different options of carbs, protein, fat, and fiber, where you can choose whatever you want. So basically, every single day, all they do is they track what they're eating. They eat dosa, sometimes they eat upma, sometimes they eat rice, roti, and noodles, a different kind of thing. So basically, they know how much they have to eat and how much they are supposed to eat and how much they're eating. rather than giving a one particular diet plan. The one major disadvantage of diet plans is if you want to eat anything out of the diet plan, you literally curse yourself because you have no idea what happens if you eat outside. If you will think that something is going to happen, you are crazily put on weight, or you're cheating yourself and your whole process will be ruined or something like that, which is
Exactly.
which is not practically true. So that's the whole point where coaches shouldn't give diet plans. They have to teach the diet strategies and teach to the clients how they can create their own diet plans every single day based on their moods and based on their food availability and food choices and their intolerance or tolerance, whatever they have, rather than giving only a particular diet plan and telling to eat them for particular timings. The more you restrict yourself or to your clients to only a set of things, set of workouts, a set of foods, the more they're going to suffer when it comes to sustaining that in a longer run. So if you are somebody who is willing to see your client to go for a longer period of time taking care of their health, you should teach them diet strategies by teaching them about these numbers, how they have to track all of this, which is not at all difficult. Like, it's just the way people have kept it out, which is making people seem it difficult. It's nothing like that. You just have to download an app, enter what you're eating, and enter the quantity. That's it. It'll just give you a number of how many grams you're eating and all of that. So doing something in a vague way is always better than not doing at all. At least you'll get an idea of how much you're eating rather than sticking to only a particular how long can you follow that diet plan. So that's the whole point of giving the diet plans rather than teaching diet strategies. So when it comes to procrastination, it's not only my clients, like every single person procrastinates, because if when there is a lot of workload and you try to push it behind rather than addressing that work right now. So when you push it behind, you think that when you do it later, you're going to feel much happy. And right now, if you do it, it will be very difficult for you. But later, again, when you're supposed to do, because you have pushed that work, it will again create a burden for you. So that will become a habit once you start repeating that process over and over again. Rather than that, addressing that particular work right then and there itself is something which is needed. Like, do it there itself. Nothing is going to happen. The concept of when you do it later, I'm going to feel much better or much happier than doing it right now, concept is going to harm you. That is basically what procrastination is. Rather than that, whatever it is, because see, like, whatever task you postpone, nothing is going to happen. If you do it right now, you will feel much better. The more you postpone, the more there'll be a lot of load on you. You will start facing different consequences because of postponing. Let it be whatever. So the whole point is, do it then and there itself. Let the result be positive. Let the result be negative. Whatever it is, at least you are not postponing and start blaming yourself because not able to do. That is going to have an adverse effect on your productivity and your mental health as well. Rather than that, whatever task it is, plan it, write down in your journal, allot some particular time in your day and finish off that work rather than pushing to the next day or whenever it is. Because whatever you want to start, the more you push it some other time, the more you are thinking that if you're not doing today, it'll be much better, and if you do someday, it's going to be much better. There's nothing like that. Every single second, every single minute is better if you want to take charge and start doing it. That's it. So that's the whole point of procrastination.
So it's like people have to take charge of themselves.
Exactly. So you shouldn't postpone. See, nothing is like life and death matter, and nothing is going to go wrong. And even if it goes wrong, it's a lesson which you have to learn. So, as I always tell, like, there's nothing good or there's nothing bad. There's only learning. There's only learning from everything. So,
Exactly.
in charge and start doing whatever things which you have kept on postponing, and you can do that only when you plan. If you are in a particular place and if you know where you have to go, and if the whole path is something which connects you to that particular place, is your planning. If that path is not strong, if the journey path is not strong, you're not going to reach there. So try writing down. I cannot stress how much journaling helps, how much planning, to list. Just divide your time equally to whatever you want to allot for that particular day. Plan and get the work done. Even if the work is not done, don't stress over it. Finish off the next day. So yeah, that's what I would want to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very beautiful point. So I also feel like apart from journaling, you can share what you have done with your health to the people around you. I mean, the like-minded people around you, to your health coach or whatever. So I personally wanted to start this because I've recently had a huge accident last year,
Okay.
and I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost almost 7 kgs, which is big for me, and I just want to maintain a healthy weight for my body. For me, I've always been 50 to 51 kilograms. I just want to be fit. I'm talking about having more fitness.
Strength.
So, my, can you, help me in knowing how I can gain more fitness? Because I've gone to the gym, I've worked out. Trust me, I have a lot of motivation for the first 1 or 2 weeks, and then it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. So what you have faced is not only you, it's every single person who's listening to this live, whom you know, every single person feels the same way. So the 7 kgs which you want to put back is through nutrition and exercise, and even before that, you need to ask yourself about your sleep and your mental health. So these two
Yeah.
things are which will tell you if you are going to reach that point or not. If your sleep cycle is not proper, if you don't get 7 to 8 hours of enough sleep, you cannot get the work done. Even when it comes to mental health, if you are not happy with yourself, or you have issues with your personal life or whatever it is, the last thing what you can take care is about your meals and about your workout. So first thing, you have to sort about these two things. And when you're fine with these two, then you can take care of your nutrition. As I was telling, just try to keep your meals balanced, and tracking is something which is very, very important. Rather than following a particular meal plan, you can download this app called MyFitnessPal, and you can just enter whatever you eat. Let it be one dosa, you can just write one dosa, and it just give you how many calories you're consuming, and it gives you a total as well, how many calories you are supposed to consume and how many calories you're consuming. So you can compare
Yeah.
them, are tracking it every single day. And when it comes to workouts as well, you can, don't go too aggressive and don't just completely give up. Try to find that moderate range where you can continue in the longer run. If 3 days workout per week fits for you, then just go for 3 days. Like, it's not that only when you work out 7 days a week you're gonna get result. That is like something which is not
Me,
true at all. Yeah.
I've been in that belief for such a long time. I just want to break that. I've, I used to go to the gym 6 days a week.
Okay.
So I never felt like going 3 more days. I just felt like going for 2 to 3 days, to be very honest.
Yeah, rather than that, you can just give your best 100% for those 3 to 4 days, and the other days you can spend on whatever productive work you have rather than pushing yourself every single day. And when it comes to training, I don't know this concept where people come and ask, how long are you training? How many hours you are in the gym isn't going to tell how great your workout is going on. So
Exactly.
stay in the gym doesn't mean your workout is going well. It's how much you're getting the best out of the session. Even in 15 minutes, you can get the best out of the session. Doesn't mean that you're not doing well. So it's basically your intensity and how you are taking care of your strength, and how you're activating your muscle, and it's not how long you're staying. Even if you stay for 4 hours, you're gonna feel very tired. You're gonna lose your muscle along with fat. And in the namesake, we can just tell 4 hours, but it's gonna affect you. So that's the whole point of it. Pick a range where you can continue for a longer run. Let it be 3 days. Give your best those 3 days.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello? Yes, you're audible. You can go ahead. Yes. Um,
Hey,
Yes, it's clear now.
sorry, it just abruptly ended. Um,
No, it is fine. It is fine.
am I audible,
Yes, it
visible?
is
Everything
fine.
is fine?
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll just continue, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was speaking, when it comes to your workout intensity, you can just pick a number of days, how much you are comfortable. If you can pull up 3 days a week, that's completely, yeah, yeah. So you can just give your best those 3 days. So, like, are you able to hear me? Is everything fine? The net is fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you? Am I clear? My voice
Yes,
and
yes.
video.
Everything is,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Good.
Everything is.
Go ahead, please.
So speaking about this, so even when it comes to tracking, you can just download this app called MyFitnessPal and keep tracking whatever you're eating so that you'll at least get to know how much you're eating. Even on the days when you eat biryani or when you just go here and there when it comes to nutrition, track so that you will understand even on the days when you just go here and there how much you're eating. Knowing is something which is very important, like it's a first step for change. When you know
Yeah.
better, you will exactly know where you're going wrong and where you have to work rather than not knowing at all. So that's what I always suggest when it comes to nutrition as well. So other than that, like, do you have any queries regarding how to take further?
No, no. I feel that everyone should have it from within to be healthy. No, they need to have an aspiration that, no, aspiration is a big word, but need to have, what word should I be exactly using? I don't know, but they want to be healthy. Everyone should
Knowing why.
have the intention to be healthy,
Exactly, true, yeah. So that's something.
mental and physical as well.
Exactly. Because if you don't know why you're doing, or if you don't have a strong intention, you cannot go further ahead. If you're doing for a particular person, a particular date, a particular thing, it is not going to take you further. Fitness is something,
Exactly.
yeah, which is you are helping yourself. When you reach 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, the things what you can, picking heavy load, from below or from the cupboard, or just doing regular activities rather than depending on someone. If you take care of your health, you can do it on your own rather than relying on your family or relying on servants or all of that. So that's the
Yeah.
whole point of it. You are doing it for yourself and not for
Yes.
somebody else.
Now, when you're being so young in your late teens or early 20s, we get to see a lot of people and celebrities, which you mentioned earlier, with the ideal bodies. They have a lot of influence on people because no, are they are from the media industry, and they can create a lot of impact on the youngsters. So all of these youngsters might want to become like them instead of becoming something of their own. So I think it is high time people realize it is not for somebody who's staying next to them or someone at school, someone on screen they see, but it's totally for them to make them healthy so that they can be happy with their body, love their body.
True.
So healthy body doesn't mean you're fat or you're too thin, but you are just happy with yourself and your weight. And I also feel that uh, just want to add a point to lack of sleep. I've known some people who had a very disturbed sleep cycle. Even when it comes to me, my sleep cycle was disturbed, and I started sleeping somewhere around 2 in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. So I feel it's so because I haven't had enough physical activity lately. It is only when you have a regular physical activity, your body gets tired and you
Exactly.
go to sleep and you have nothing to worry about.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. True.
So, I mean,
The disadvantage of COVID, where a lot of people are not physically exhausted to put themselves onto the bed, which has messed up sleep routine for so many people. So you
yeah,
need to keep your work life and your sleeping life in separate way. The first thing is, like, don't sit on bed and sleep. Keep a separate place for your work and keep a separate place for eating. Keep a separate place for sleeping. And after you finish working, let it be 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, shut your digital media, whatever it is. And when you step on the bed, don't take this digital media, let it be phone, ipad, tablet, whatever, don't take it on the bed. Bed is meant only for sleeping. And see, on the days even when you sleep late, try to get up early. When you get up early and don't take naps in between, by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you will feel so exhausted. And because of that, you will sleep early. So this becomes a routine. Once you get your body adjusted to this routine, it becomes automatic, but that threshold will be really difficult. So that happens only with proper planning. You can get up early only when you sleep early. And you can sleep early only when you don't combine this technology on bed. So don't keep scrolling or
Yeah,
things. Yeah, you need to like be in charge of yourself. That's it.
it is tough to avoid such sort of things, let me be honest. So, listening to you speak today, I personally want to have a health coach and improve myself for the sake of my health and my happiness. So, I think we'll be concluding in the next few minutes. So, is there anything that you'd like to say in particular? I don't have any questions.
Okay, cool. So I just want to tell few pointers, like don't go aggressive on anything, and goal setting is something which is very much needed. If you are very vague on why you want to reach or how you want to reach, or a particular goal, if your goal is like, for example, for you, you can, because your goal is gaining strength. It is not losing weight or not. It's not gaining weight. So you can
Yeah,
like
exactly, exactly.
for pull-ups or push-ups, or getting better performance, or running 4 km or 5 km without taking breaks or something like that, where you can prioritize your strength. And you cannot, as soon as you go on the road, you cannot straight away run 5 km. Don't get demotivated and completely give up. No person whom you see are athletes or professionals. They cannot get over there in one particular day. They keep training over and over and over again. And don't compare your journey with somebody else's journey. Comparison,
True, true.
which is like very wrong. Even over Instagram or anywhere, just because somebody else is doing well, it doesn't mean that your life is not better. Every single person has their good and bad in life, and you need to just be a spectator of it. Don't absorb everything whatever you see. Just question, pass it through the question thing, and question if it suits for you or not, and what it has got to do with you, and then you can start processing it. So even when it comes to goal setting, break it into smaller parts and keep tracking of how you are reaching that every single week, because
Exactly.
progress is important. It gives you a push of how far you have come. So noting that progress every single week, no matter repetitions, or how long you are running, or how your food it has improved, or how your sleep has improved, this is very much important. And along with that, when
True.
it comes to celebrities as well, comparing our bodies with whatever celebrities, whomever we see, you need to know their what do you call, their profession is different, and why they are.
Exactly, exactly. The reason they work, uh, their bodies are so the way they are is because they work for that,
Yeah, and just
and
imagine,
our work is not that.
and how many people are there behind them for them to reach that stage, and you have no idea
Yeah.
how they have reached that stage as well. So you can like never compare your progress with anybody you see anywhere. Your journey is just your journey, and you have to focus on how far you have come, and not
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
else. So yeah,
True,
that's
true.
something which I would want to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mona Lisa, thank you so much. It was a great insight. I was actually confused of what points I should be mentioning you, or what sort of questions I should be asking you in this beginning of this live. I had random questions running in my head. I was like thinking, should I ask her, should I not? Because I was not into this fitness thing
Oh no.
at all. So how does she think of it? Does she think does this girl know anything about what she's speaking or not? But thank you. You've given me a beautiful insight. Now I feel confident. I also feel like starting a health routine, to be honest, after listening to what you spoke, which I think I will be doing. So thank you so much for joining us, giving your time,
Thank you.
and yeah, the message which you are spreading and the cause for which you are working through your center is beautiful. Is which is saying for people to find strength within themselves. I think everyone should be doing that for their sake, not for somebody else's sake. They shouldn't be comparing themselves. So I think I'd like to end this live by taking a selfie. I'll be taking a screenshot. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Take it. Yeah. Yeah. You can just take it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Uh,
Yeah. Cool.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And if at all you have any queries regarding anything, don't hesitate. No matter how much of a small it is, you need to understand fitness is for everybody. And
Yes.
becomes a pro if you don't clarify those questions. The more you keep it inside,
Yes.
the more it just starts building up. Just like be shameless and ask me whatever queries you have regarding health. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.